just lost over $100,000 in the last 48 hours. And if you also looked at your portfolio this morning, you probably almost had a heart attack as well. But before you do anything crazy and sell a bunch of stuff and lose a bunch of money, let me give you some hope, right? Because I have been doing this for quite some time. 26 now, officially UNG status, I guess, but I've been investing in the stock market and in crypto since I was 18 years old. And during that time, I've experienced a lot of lows and a lot of highs. And when you're experiencing the lows, absolute shit in all markets, crypto, stocks, precious metals, whatever the case may be, the last thing you want to do is panic sell. If you are investing in things that you believe in long term, like me, like Bitcoin, like ETFs that track the overall market, SPY, VOO, QQQ, all the shit, VSUX that track the US market as well as the global market, I'm confident that that's going to do really well in the long term. So I'm not going to panic sell, even though I'm down on paper. I'm not selling because I'm not going to realize those losses. If anything, I'm going to keep calm, continue business as usual, and double down on what I'm doing, because this is the time to buy. When you see red, everyone is scared. Everyone is fearful, but you can use this as an opportunity, as a buying opportunity to double down on what you have and make that shit grow.
Bitcoin just dropped to 67,000. That's 6 or 7,000. That's 6 or 7,000. This is what Trump meant when he said I was gonna be tired of winning. I am tired of fucking winning. Fuck this. I have a gun at home, and that gun has a full magazine.
So I just lost a little over $5,000 in crypto this morning, within the last 48 hours actually, from the markets crashing. And if you're looked at your portfolio this morning, you're probably dying of a heart attack too. But what I'm not gonna do is panic sell. Because if crypto taught me anything, it's that if you really believe in something, you shouldn't panic sell the second your number goes under what you want it to be. Because that's just outrageous. Why would you do that? Crypto is going to be something where it's volatile, and everyone who's invested in crypto knows it's going to end up in some sort of volatility where it's either going over what you expected or way under what you expected to. And that's just part of the game. And if you're in a similar situation to me and you just lost a lot of money in crypto, I need you to calm down. Because yes, this happens. It is what it is. The market's going to go back up. Bitcoin's going to go back up. Ethereum's going to go back up. Solana's going to go back up. You just have to trust the process and wait it out. But if you just keep looking at the markets, keep investing daily, this is the perfect time to keep investing, not to get scared to not invest. And keeping an eye on everything that's going on and looking for opportunities to even make more money in this crash, you're going to be fine. Just lock in, you're good.
So right now, Bitcoin is dropping and naturally, people are panicking. You're seeing red candles, negative portfolios, fear on Twitter/X, and headlines acting like crypto's finished for good. But the first thing people need to understand is that Bitcoin dropping doesn't automatically mean something is wrong. Volatility is literally baked into how Bitcoin moves. A lot of this downturn comes from macro pressure, things like interest rates staying higher for longer, risk assets pulling back, and investors moving money into safer places temporarily. When liquidity tightens, Bitcoin is usually one of the first things people sell, not because it's broken, but because it's considered a risk-on asset. Another big factor is expectation versus reality. A lot of people bought Bitcoin expecting non-stop upside, especially after past bull runs. But markets don't move in straight lines. Corrections, pullbacks, and even sharp drops are part of Bitcoin's historical pattern. And we'll take a look at TradingView later on in this video, but even now, if you're sitting at your computer, if you zoom out on any Bitcoin chart, you'll notice that Bitcoin has gone through multiple this to the end moments and survived every single one. The key lesson here is that price action alone doesn't tell the full story. Short-term fear tends to drown out long-term context, especially for new investors.
So Bitcoin rallied today only to lose everything it gained and go negative again. What's happening? It's really obvious what's happening. All the big money is exiting their positions. They've been liquidating for the past 6 months, and they're going to continue to liquidate. And this thing is going to continue to drop and drop and drop. And then once all the big money behind it is out of it, all you retail investors who are excited about some type of new money system are going to lose everything. That's what's about to happen. That's what's happening right now. Why would you ever think that a group of nerds who created their own currency would be able to overthrow the currency systems already in place? Do you really think that the Federal Reserve Bank, the United States government, the United States Treasury are going to let a bunch of nerds take over? That's what you guys think? In what world? This was all done by design. Satoshi Nakamoto, that's all I have to say. You guys fell for a fucking Nintendo character. A Nintendo character. Is his partner Mario and Luigi? Did they help start Bitcoin? Yeah? Enjoy your ride to the bottom. I'm shorting the fuck out of this thing. I'm shorting it to zero.
Oh, the market is crashing. The market is crashing. Wall Street is crashing. Bitcoin is crashing. And y'all are playing right into their hands. They want you to be distracted by Wall Street crashing. They want you to be distracted by Bitcoin crashing and going down to below $66,000. They want you to be distracted by the Epstein files and Donald Trump and what he's doing and what he's not doing. They want you to concentrate on ICE and what ICE is doing wrong and what ICE is doing right. And they want you arguing with each other about this and about that. Meanwhile, the wealthy are getting wealthier. Why? Because they are cheering Bitcoin on. They want it to drop. They want it to drop. They want the bottom to drop out of Bitcoin. Why? Because they call it buying on the dip. Buying on the dip. Buying when it's as low as it can possibly go. Buy it cheap and sell it high. That's what they're doing. And y'all aren't paying attention. Instead, you want to cry. Stop crying and do something about it. Stop crying and join the party. Join the party. Stop being a slave to the system and going to your 9 to 5 every day and sweating your bills. Instead, jump on the wagon with the wealthy. They, believe me, they are getting more and more wealthy as the days go by. As long as Bitcoin is going down, as long as the stock markets are going down, they are pumping millions into Bitcoin, pumping millions into the stock market. Why? Because when it bounces back, guess what? If they started with 20 million, now they'll have 100 million. Get on the bandwagon and stop crying. If you know me, you already know that I'm always about uplifting the community. And right now, I'm trying to uplift your pockets. I'm trying to help your family. I'm trying to strengthen your family. It's all about financial freedom in 2026 and the years that come after. It's all about financial freedom. And it starts now that the stock market is low. It starts now that Bitcoin is low. I want everybody around me to be successful. I don't care if you got $10. $200, $2,000, $200,000. Buy.
So what's actually happening to Bitcoin, people? People are asking me because I made a really clear-cut video explaining what happened to silver within 2 minutes. And guys, Bitcoin, this is not a mystery. This is math, liquidity, and leverage all blowing up. We discussed this on an episode of Mike in the Night in 2025. We told you guys that crypto will be trading around $1,600. And people are asking about that because they're concerned. They borrowed money to invest in volatility. Now let's talk about the move. What happened yesterday? Bitcoin was down 7 to 8% in 24 hours. That's 78,000 peak to sub 72,000. Total crypto market down 1.7 trillion from its October high. That's about 35 to 40% drawdown in total crypto value. Now, the mechanics is the key. What's the mechanics? Over 1 to 1.3 billion in leveraged positions liquidated within days. Mostly longs, retail, and momentum traders. They borrowed to gamble. Once $74,000 broke, forced selling. This wasn't fear, it was margin calls. Pay back your debts. Now let's look at the macro pressure. Interest rates are still high. Liquidity is tight. No emergency easing. NASDAQ was down about 2 points yesterday. You guys know that. Now, Bitcoin is trading like a leveraged tech stock, not gold. Now, let's look at the sentiment shifts. ETFs and having hype equals priced in. When price stopped going straight up, the fast money exited. Media flips the script. Up, digital gold. Down, crisis faith. It's the same asset, but a different headline. Now let's look at the historical text. I'll give you guys that. Bitcoin routinely drops about 20-30% in bull cycles. This move so far is normal, not extreme. But what's the difference now? Way more leverage in the system. And let me give you guys a prediction. That's what you're asking for. Base case, most likely to happen, chop and bleed. Resets is about 55 to 58,000. High volatility, no straight recovery. If liquidity worsens, 40 to 42,000, you flush your weak poker hands, then stabilization. Bull case only if rates signal cuts or liquidity injections restart. If that, right? So the final truth is, this isn't a faith crisis that they're making it out to be. This is a liquidity purge. Markets are reminding everyone, if you borrow to buy volatility, volatility will take your money.
Mike Martins here. I have spoken.
One of the biggest reasons why people are losing money right now isn't just because Bitcoin is down, it's how they entered the market. A lot of retail traders bought near the top, over allocated, or worse, use leverage without understanding the risk. You see, when price starts dropping, a panic kicks in. People sell at the worst possible moments, locking in losses, not because they had a bad long-term thesis, but because they couldn't emotionally handle the drawdown. This is literally how markets transfer money from impatient participants to the patient ones. Leverage makes this even worse. When you're over leveraged, you don't get the luxury of waiting things out. Liquidations happen fast, especially during volatile moves. What feels like Bitcoin ruining people is often really bad risk management being exposed. This is also where social media becomes dangerous. You see a whole bunch of influencers saying buy the dip one week and it's over the next. And what you have to realize is that most retail traders aren't reacting to data. They're reacting to emotion and noise, and markets are designed to punish that behavior.
Why is the crypto market crashing? At one point, Bitcoin was down $16,000 in the last 24 hours. It hit 60K and then it rebounded to 65K where it is right now, but it's left everyone just shell-shocked. I've been in crypto since 2017, and honestly, this is the most savage drop that I've ever seen, not because of the sheer amount of money that's exiting the markets, but because there's no real clear reason why. Last cycle, we had obvious catalysts like Terra Luna depegging, FTX collapsing. Those things felt tangible, but this time we're just in like a free fall and people are scrambling for answers. I've read about a dozen different theories online, and the truth is it's probably a combination of a few of these things, so let's go through it. So first of all, a lot of people believe that the 4-year cycle is still intact, and honestly, when you trace 2022's drawdown over top of today's drawdown, the structures are eerily similar. And I got this totally wrong. I thought the 4-year cycle would finally be over, but if you get enough people subscribing to a certain belief, it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The second reason is that I think Bitcoin is going through an identity crisis. With the release of the files, we're seeing his early involvement with funding some of the Bitcoin Core members. Personally, I think that things are being massively overblown, but perception matters and social media is really running with it. The third reason, and probably the biggest factor, it seems like there is a forced liquidation going on. People are pointing to October 10th when we had that flash crash and that maybe some market maker or a trading firm went under. We don't really know who, but it seems that because they're clipping into the market when it's just in free fall, it's likely that this is a forced liquidation and not someone exiting by choice. The one silver lining in this is that if it was a forced liquidation, the price tends to rebound pretty hard when the selling is over. The fourth reason is that this Bitcoin sell-off is also likely tied to the yen carry trade unwinding. We're also seeing a lot of tech stocks sell off. So as the Bank of Japan continues to raise interest rates, these over-leveraged firms are selling off their assets. The fifth reason is that it looks like the US could strike Iran pretty soon. When a new war breaks out, there's a lot of uncertainty and generally the market sells off when that happens. And finally, with Trump appointing the next Fed chairman, the US dollar has been appreciating, which is in the short run bad for precious metals, stocks, and crypto. Bitcoin and crypto is not dead, but I do think it'll be a while, probably 6 months or longer, before we start to see any sort of excitement return to this space. I think that anything below 60K is probably a good buying opportunity. I personally will be picking up Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana.
It's now or never for Bitcoin. We just passed a 365-day low, and without an injection into Bitcoin here, it's going to head straight to $50,000 Bitcoin. So I would take the risk. I would really, for you bulls who are bullish on crypto and Bitcoin like me, with your stocks, I would look to transition into crypto again. And I would look for Bitcoin to head back to that 85K level. Enjoy the profits, enjoy the time, and hopefully we can recover from this before March, because March will be where, Bitcoin's going to recover regardless. So let's do this. This is a scary thing, bro. It's scary because without this is bear market territory, and it's going to take a minute. But China's already loading up on digital assets. The USA is already talking about the Clarity Act, a lot of various different things that are coming. So for you crypto bulls, this is the time.
Everyone just see how Bitcoin fucking dumped? I'm just gonna buy so much of it. Oh my God! I'm on 78K. Oh my God! If it gets down to 75, I'm gonna do something crazy.
So real quick, we're just gonna hop on TradingView and talk about this for a minute. So as you can see, a lot of people expected Bitcoin to continue pushing up above 106, but throughout the days, throughout the weeks, it started pushing down and it came back down to this level or this zone that a lot of people had their eyes on, hoping that it would have a nice retracement back up to 106 and start to push back out again. But that's not what happened. Price started to tank. And this is why a lot of investors are freaking out, because usually when we have a lot of consolidation, price starts to reject off of these levels and starts to correct itself naturally. We see this all the time on futures. But as you can see, it broke past down this LPI of this demand zone and just started to plummet. Like, this is just tragic, right? Usually price would have a lot of rejects off of this level. As you can see, it made a touch right here. It made a touch right here. So a few touches indicating that price has a strong level of support, hoping that price would break back out into this HPI, pushing back up to this level of resistance. But as you can see, price did the exact opposite. We didn't even get a clean break and retest. Price just started shooting down. So now as it's kind of stagnant at this level, if we zoom in on the 1 hour, we can see that price may start to correct itself. And also if we zoom out on the monthly time frame, we can see that price actually hit an all-time low at around 70K. So we're just gonna have to keep an eye out on Bitcoin and see what it does. But yeah, in my opinion, I don't think this is the time to panic. If anything, this is just a time to reassess yourself and get ready for another push. While retail is panicking, smart money is usually doing something very different. They're waiting, scaling, or doing nothing at all. They understand that volatility creates opportunity, but only if you survive long enough to take advantage of it. They don't go all in at one price. They scale in, they manage risk, and they accept that being early can feel exactly like being wrong in the short term. They also understand that cash is a position. Sometimes the smartest move is just to sit back on the sidelines. Another key difference is the time horizon. Retail tends to think in days and weeks. Smart money thinks in months and years. Instead of asking, why is Bitcoin down today? They ask, what does this asset look like over the next cycle? And I get that long-term conviction with proper risk management can feel boring, but boring is usually what keeps you in the game.
Bitcoin is down to $66,000. This is for all my traders. This is for all my people who are into stocks, bonds, whatever. I said bonds. Who survives bonds? I don't know. Whatever. Why? I don't know. I feel like that's kind of alarming for the economy. I don't know, for me. I don't know, to me. Bitcoin has been at over $100,000 for years. It ain't been below that for quite some time. All week it's been dropping. What's going on? All week has been feeling a little weird anyway, but the fact that Bitcoin is at $66,000 and it hasn't been that for years, I wonder how low it's about to go. What's going on? Like,
bro, crypto is clapping my booty cheeks right now, bro.
Bro, don't mind these nasty ass Hostess donuts, bro. That shit tastes like fucking medicine. But look, started at 20K, bro. And it's down to 11. Crypto is like, what, bro? At this point, bro, like, who's gonna sell and just confirm your loss? You might as well just stay in. Like, bro, crypto is going crazy right now, bro. Like, my luck, bro.
Bitcoin's down at $63,000 today. Just continues to drop as it has been over the last several weeks and actually months. Are you holding on to any Bitcoin that you own? Are you buying? Are you selling? I'm relieved that I don't own any at this point, but it could be an opportunity.
All right, so in the last 48 hours, I have lost about $50,000 in the crypto market. I know everybody's down bad right now. I'm hurting right now. I'm definitely not going outside for the next 6 to 12 months, but do not panic, sell. Keep those gains unrealized. I will be adding to my portfolio, if anything. And the only way that you lose money in moments like this is if you panic sell. These are moments where you can actually be set up for the best entries, actual wealth. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but these are the best entries you can really get. So what I would recommend to anybody interested in the stock market, crypto market, DCA, don't panic sell. And just know all of us are in the same situation right now. I'm literally, the past 48 hours, I'm down $50,000. Think about how crazy that is. I'm hurting, gang. But yeah, DCA, don't panic, sell. Set yourself up for wealth. Start now. Start looking into crypto now. Start doing your research. And about a year from now, you're actually going to be very, very grateful for a crash like this.
At the end of the day, this Bitcoin drop isn't just about crypto. It's about how people handle uncertainty. Markets will always test patience, discipline, and emotional control. Most people don't fail because they choose the wrong asset. They fail because they didn't have a plan. So if you're freaking out right now, that doesn't make you stupid. It makes you human. But it does mean you might be overexposed, undereducated, or relying too much on hype. This is the moment to slow down, reassess, and learn, not revenge trade or panic sell. Bitcoin will continue to be volatile. That's not changing. The real question is whether you're going to approach the markets emotionally or strategically. And if this drop made you feel uncomfortable, that might not be a sign that Bitcoin is bad. It might just be a sign you need better framework for how you invest or manage risk. But let me know what you guys think about this whole Bitcoin controversy. In my opinion, I think this just opens doors for new investors to buy at a low discount so that when the market starts to correct itself, they'll be able to say they got in at a pretty good time or a pretty good price. But until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.